Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Mystery Unsolved. Not that you know, I'm on a little earlier than usual. Normally, I do this on Fridays at 7. It is Friday at 1:44, but I'm going to be working later, so therefore, we're doing this now. We don't have a creepy mystery for you tonight, but we do have an interesting episode. Tonight's episode of Mystery Unsolved is on the Amber Room. Heard of it, have you? If you haven't, you're going to enjoy it. Without further ado, Mystery Unsolved, The Amber Room. The Amber Room was a chamber decorated in amber panels backed with gold leaf and mirrors, located in the Catherine Palace of Tsarskoye Selo near St. Petersburg. St. Petersburg is in Russia. So this room, it's true to its name. It was immaculate, like absolutely stunning. I will try to show pictures after I'm done reading. Constructed in the 18th century in Prussia, the room was dismantled and eventually disappeared during World War II. Before its loss, it was considered an eighth wonder of the world. A reconstruction was made starting in 1979 and completed and installed in the Catherine Palace in 2003. See, that I didn't know. So is this really a mystery? Sure, because we want to know what happened to the original one. The Amber Room was intended in 1701 for Charlottenburg Palace in Berlin, Prussia, but was eventually installed at the Berlin City Palace. It was designed by German Baroque sculptor Andreas Schluter and Danish amber craftsman Gottfried Wolfram. These names, I'll tell you. Schluter and Wolfram worked on the room until 1707, when the work was continued by amber masters Gottfried Tarot and Ernst Schrott. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing these. I'm not good with pronouncing Russian names. And I'm usually good at pronouncing names, but Russian, it remained in Berlin until 1716, when it was given by the Prussian king Frederick William I to his ally, Tsar Peter the Great of the Russian Empire. Yeah, I think I know where this is going. Peter the Great has it, so after expansion and several renovations, it covered more than 55 square meters and contained over 6 tons of amber. That's a lot of amber. And remember, amber is the color of your energy. Yes, that was a 311 reference. The Amber Room was looted during World War II by Army Group North of Nazi Germany and taken to Königsberg for reconstruction and display. So the one thing that I'm having a hard time grasping here is it's a room, right? So how can you move? Well, I suppose you can move the stuff in the room. But I guess my issue here is if the walls, maybe the walls aren't actually made of amber, the walls are made of whatever. And they just coated it with amber, they just put that on top of it. So it's easy to just dismantle and move somewhere else. I think I just answered my own question, but okay. The Amber Room was looted during World War II by the Army Group North of Nazi Germany and taken to Königsberg for reconstruction and display. Of course, because whenever something happens during World War II, Hitler has to have gotten his hands on it, right? Sometime early in 1944, with Allied forces closing in on Germany, the room was disassembled and created for storage in the castle basement. Freaking Nazis, man. This is a freaking glorious, immaculate, majestic room full of amber. And the freaking Nazis are like, you know what? We need this for storage. Disassemble it. That's the most Nazi Germany thing I've ever heard. Königsberg was destroyed by Allied bombers in August 1944, and the documentation of the room location ends there. Its eventual fate and current whereabouts, if it survives, remain a mystery. In 1979, the decision was taken to create a reconstructed amber room at the Catherine Palace in Pushkin, after decades of work by Russian craftsmen and donations from Germany. Ha! I like that. It was completed and inaugurated in 2003. So, did the Germans willingly donate, or was Russia like, no, you you lost our last amber room, you guys are forking over the money? But that was during Nazi Russia. We have nothing to do with that. I mean, Nazi Germany. We have nothing to do with that. Don't care. Cough up the money for donations so we can build another amber room. Everyone needs to appreciate this for what it was. All right, so why are we here? Because, as documentation will show, 1944, World War II, was the last place the amber room, the original amber room, was found. That's where it was. So where did it go? That's what we're about to find out. Also, I love how this room was like transferred about different places for over 300 years. Something was like a room. Try to concept this in your brain, okay? I really want you to go on this journey with me so we can find this room. For 300 years, this room was given as a gift, it was appreciated, and it was moved constantly. And leave it to the goddamn Nazis to be like, yeah, we're going to disassemble this because we need storage. Yeah, Hitler, because you needed storage. You had storage units all over the place. There's a bunch of abandoned places. If you ever watch Mysteries of the Abandoned, at least once per episode, there's always an abandoned place that mentions Hitler in World War II. Every time. I love that show, but they could just do an entire season on Hitler's abandoned places. But case in point, the Amber Room is last seen in 1944 by the Nazis, who disassembled it. From there, we have no idea where its location went. All right. Let's go over the architecture. I feel like that's kind of important here. I want to see what we're working with. The Amber Room is a priceless piece of art with extraordinary architectural features such as gliding carvings of amber panels, gold leaf, gemstones, and mirrors, all highlighted with candlelight. Doesn't that just sound absolutely amazing? Like, I feel like that could be a happy place for people if they knew it existed. The Amber Room exists, people, and if a tropical island paradise is your getaway, is your happy place, maybe start thinking of the Amber Room because that's a nice happy place in your brain, for your brain to go. Additional architectural and design features include statues of angels and children. See, it's just peaceful and nice all around. Because of its unique features and singular beauty, the original Amber Room was sometimes dubbed the eighth wonder of the world. Damn right it was. It sounds like it should have been. Modern estimates of the room's value range from 142 million as of 2007 to over 500 million 2016. Look at that, went up $400 million within 9 years. All right. We know how it was created. We just read that part. So let's go over the disappearance and the mystery behind this, shall we? That's why we're here. After the war, World War II, I am assuming, yeah, the Amber Room was never seen in public again, though reports have occasionally surfaced stating that pieces of the Amber Room survived the war. Several eyewitnesses claim to have spotted the famous room being loaded on board the Wilhelm Gustloff, which led Gdynia on January 30th. On January 30th, 1945, and was then promptly torpedoed and sunk by a Soviet submarine. I kind of wanted to believe that until you told me it was torpedoed. I don't like that. You gave my hopes up. In 1997, nice little sound effect. Yeah, we're jumping here. 1997. Add that number in your head because I don't feel like it right now. I don't feel like mathing today. An Italian stone mosaic, feel and touch, that was a part of a set of 4 stones which had decorated the amber room, was found in Germany, in the possession of the family of a soldier who claimed to have helped pack up the amber chamber. Ooh, now that's a feel-good story. The mosaic came into the hands of the Russian authorities and was used in the reconstruction. Oh, okay. In 1998, 2 separate teams, one German and one Lithuanian, announced that they had located the amber room. The German team pointed to a silver mine, while the Lithuanian team believed that the amber treasure was buried in a lagoon. Neither of the 2 locations turned out to hold the amber room. Ha! It's over there! No, it's over there! It's in neither place, so you're both wrong. In 2004, like 40 years or 50 years, then 10 years. In 2004, a lengthy investigation by British investigative journalists Catherine Scott Clark and Adrian Levy concluded that the amber room was most likely destroyed when Königsberg's castle was damaged. The first during the bombing of the Königsberg by the Royal Air Force in 1944, and then by the Soviets' burning of the castle, followed by the shelling of remaining walls. See, as much as that pains me, just to hear that all that amber burned and was blown up, but it would make sense because the Nazis packed it up. Where they put it, God only knows. Probably some bunker somewhere, because let's be honest, they packed a lot of crap up. So, even though I just told you that Hitler put a lot of stuff way off in other plans, other places and other lands, I'm sure even Hitler appreciated the quality of that room. And let's just assume for a second that Hitler was the head on packing up the amber room. He appreciated its quality, but he wanted it close to him because that's the type of greedy, crazy bastard that Hitler was. So he wanted it somewhere close to him so he could go check it out. So he packs it up. This is just my theory. He packs it up and he can go check on it. And being a weird psychopath that he was, checked on it maybe occasionally. Then he forgot all about it. That's the big key. He probably forgot all about it. Most Germans and Nazi soldiers probably forgot all about it. Then the bombings happened, and only the people who remember the amber room for what it really was before the Nazis took it were like, hey, whatever happened to that glorious room? So I think that's plausible. Official assessments set out in documents from the Russian National Archives written by Alexander Brusov, head of the Soviet team charged with locating the amber room following the war, agreed with this theory. The official report stated, summarizing all the facts, we can say that the amber room was destroyed between April 9th and 11th of 1945. So this guy is like a certified archivist, and he even agreed that it's most likely the amber room was destroyed. These dates correspond with the end of the Battle of Königsberg, which on April 9th ended with the surrender of the German garrison. A few years later, Brusov publicly voiced a contrary opinion that is believed to have been done due to pressure from the Soviet authorities, who did not want to be seen as responsible for the loss of the amber room. Look at that, the Russians, who, let's be honest, they weren't responsible for losing the amber room. They gifted it, and then that gift was, I believe, taken by somebody else, and then the Nazis took it. But look at the Russians just trying to, be honorable, be respectable, and just be like, hey, we loved that thing, and we don't want to be responsible or to be considered as the reason that it's gone. Among other information retrieved from the archives was the revelation that the remaining Italian stone mosaics were found and the burned debris of the castle. Scott Clark and Levy concluded in their report that the reason the Soviets conducted extensive searches for the amber room, even though their own experts had concluded that it was destroyed, excuse me, was because they wanted to know if any of their own soldiers had been responsible for the destruction. Oh, again, the honorable, respectable thing by the Russians. Even though they probably know that they're not responsible for losing the amber room, they still want to cover every single base because they were probably so disgusted that by the idea and the notion that it got destroyed during World War II by the Nazis that they're like, you know what? It was ours originally. We want to know what happened to it. We want to know what happened to it. After the report was made public, Leonard Ehrenstein, who was a lieutenant in the Red Army in the charge of the rifle platoon during the Battle of Konigsberg, said, "I probably was one of the last people who saw the amber room." At the same time, he explained that the whole city was burning due to artillery bombardments, but also denied allegations that the Red Army burned the city on purpose, saying, "What soldiers would burn the city where they will have to stay?" Gotta love guerrilla warfare. A variation of this theory by some present-day residents of Kaliningrad, formerly Königsberg, is that at least parts of the room were found in the Königsberg Castle cellars after World War II by the Red Army. I could buy that because, again, when the Nazis packed it up, I'm assuming they probably buried it somewhere underground. So while most of it got destroyed, some of it, I imagine, stayed. The amber room was allegedly still in good condition, that it was not admitted at the time so the blame could fall upon the Nazis. Say, to preserve this story across the ruins of this castle, which was allowed after World War II, was suddenly restricted to all, including historical and archaeological surveys, but the room is said to be in a storehouse near Königsberg Castle. Again, I just said that. So again, if you know anything about Hitler, you know that he liked to store shit. That's just, I guess that's psychopathic mentality. You name it. People, guns, amber rooms, probably put them down in this underground bunker, and then he just completely forgot about it. I stand by that theory. And then in 1968, despite academic protests worldwide, Soviet General Secretary Leonid Brezhnev ordered the destruction of Königsberg Castle, thus making any on-site research of the last known resting place of the amber room all but impossible. Later, the search for the amber room continued in different locations, including Wuppertal, Germany. Another hypothesis involves a bunker. Hey! In Memurki in northeastern Poland, or Stalin ordered the amber room, or that. Another hypothesis involves a bunker in Memurki, Poland, or that Stalin ordered the amber room replaced with a replica prior to its looting, hiding the original. Ooh, I didn't even consider that. So, Hitler is diabolical enough to pack up an entire amber room and put it in a small little bunker and then forget all about it. But Stalin is diabolical enough to be like, pack up the real thing and then let's put up a replica so people don't know, so that I can cherish the original for myself. The main problem with finding the amber room is that the Nazi regime hid many items in many difficult to reach places, usually without documentation, leaving a wide search area. Again, I've been telling you this for the entire duration of this video. It's just, again, that's just like a widely known thing. The Germans also moved items to destinations far from Europe in some of the cases. The search for the amber room has also been halted by authorities in the case of Friedland Castle. It was halted because of the historic value of the castle. So, another thing to note is that there's also a possibility that the Nazis packed up the amber room and then shipped it off to another country entirely. So again, it's possible that it was close to Hitler and the Nazis, but it's also possible that it's just as much in another country, like somewhere in South Africa, South America, Jesus, somewhere in Africa, somewhere in Asia, somewhere in, well, I wouldn't say the U.S. because we'd be on that shit. Yeah. In October 2020, Polish divers from the Baltic Tech Group found the wreck of the SS Karlsruhe, a ship which took part in the Operation Hannibal, a sea excavation which allowed more than 1 million German troops and civilians from East Prussia to escape advancing Soviet forces. The ship was attacked off the coast of Poland by Soviet aircraft after it sailed from Königsberg in 1945. The wreck holds many crates with unknown contents. Oh, I see where this is going. An online news website, Live Science, reports that this German steamship may hold crates that contain parts of the Amber Room. I can't remember the last time that I did a video for Mystery Unsolved where there's been like more than 2 good theories. Most of the time I will stick by one theory. Sometimes I will go with 2. But all of these sound really good. All right. So we're done. What do you think happened to the Amber Room? Well, let's go over the theories. Number 1, it was destroyed during the war, World War II. 2, the Nazis stored it and then forgot all about it to the point where we can't find it. 3, the Nazis stored it and shipped it off to another country entirely. 4, Stalin packed it up and had a replica, and we seriously don't know where the other one is. Or 5, it's in these crates on this steamship. And you know what? I can't decide for any of them, so I'm just going to place them all in order. And the order is just as I said it. Because it's just... Oh, I'll try to see if I can show you pictures. Again, I know phone to tablet quality doesn't quite work here, but there's the first room. First picture of it. Yeah, you guys on Instagram can see it really good. There you go. See? All right. Second one. Yeah, there we go. Second one. And the reconstructed one in 2003. Right at the bottom there. Also, the first episode I've ever done on a room. Like on an actual room, not taking place in a room. Like the entire mystery is about the room itself. So first one there. A little bit different, right? It's not about a person disappearing or a mysterious death. It's about a room. A glorious, luxurious room. I do hope you enjoyed this episode of Mystery Unsolved on the Amber Room. And I haven't said this in a while, but if you enjoy this video, whether you're watching it live, that's not true because no one's watching this live. But if you watch this on the playback and you do enjoy this video and you want to see more, of course, be sure to stay tuned. Fridays at 7, I go live then, or give me a follow over on YouTube at The Plasmatic Writer. For Mystery Unsolved, this is Justin.